Dabur. You know, the company that sells honey, organic honey, coconut water, cow ghee, virgin coconut oil, homemade coconut milk, and sesame oil is filled with misleading claims like 100% purity, 100% natural, 100% purity guaranteed in their products. And again, their organic apple cider vinegar and their organic honey had Jaivik Bharat logo without any valid FSSAI organic endorsement. Recently on August 3, 2026, FSSAI sent a notice to Dabur like, hey guys, can we stop the 100% purity claims? We gotta stop that. It's kind of misleading for the consumers. And this is not the first time they have been given the notice, and Dabur was like, what? We know we're right with our claims, but since we have to follow the rules, we will change it. Since then, they have removed the 100% claims in their packaging. And after this incident happened, Dabur's stock price fell down by 4.6%. Not just Dabur, FSSAI also hit several other companies with similar claims like Lotte India for its 100% vegetarian claims, as it might be misleading for some of its Lotte pie variants. Not just that, their fruits with a Z, eclairs with different fruit flavors might sound like it has fruits, but it doesn't. So they also have to add a disclaimer that it might read like a fruit, might sound like a fruit, but it does not have any fruit at all. Another company called Ferns and Petals, which sells luxury chocolates, and you'd think that you are buying this expensive chocolate, at least they're going to use cocoa butter. Instead, they use 10 times cheaper vegetable oil, just like all other cheaper chocolates that are doing it. On top of that, they don't even add RDA. It's luxury chocolate, guys. You don't want to know what is the daily intake limit, right? Why would you want to know that? Because that would just break the illusion. From now on, they're supposed to add this disclaimer. They sell almond chocolates with big pictures of almond in the packaging, but nobody knows how much almond is added there. They don't want you to know because it is so embarrassingly low that you would have to add your own almonds on top of the chocolate. FSSAI also have this regulation that if a brand uses adjective like natural, pure, authentic, and real, they're required to add this line. This is only a brand name or trademark and does not represent its true nature. So this is basically added to follow the regulation. Most people wouldn't bother reading the small text. It can also sometimes be incredibly difficult to find with its small font size. Then there is Kubera Foods. They straight up Uno reverse in their front and back cover packaging. So they have this soft and fresh cream bun pineapple, and the front of the packets is 100% natural, stated that it does not contain any preservative. But if you check the ingredients list, is exactly opposite of what the cover has claimed, filled with preservatives, synthetic color, and flavoring substances. Coming back to Dabur's misleading claims, this is not the first time Dabur had to face such pushback for its misleading claims. Back in 2024, it was facing issues for showing claims like 100% fruit juice in the real fruit juice when there is additives and fruit flavor concentrates in the drinks, which they later changed to 100% no added sugar. According to FSSAI, Dabur has also been selling proprietary Ayurvedic medicine as edible oil. I wonder how many people got confused. I don't understand why were they waiting for FSSAI to point out that their product is being sold as food category when it is not supposed to be a food category. On top of that, back in 2020, Dabur Chyawanprash has faced backlash in the list of ingredients. They wrote everything in Sanskrit, and if you go through them, suddenly you'd find that there is sharkara, which is 59 grams. Sharkara in Sanskrit is nothing but pure sugar. This is out of 100 grams. So 59 grams out of 100 grams is pure sugar. Even cold drinks becomes healthier when it comes to sugar. Imagine doing everything to lose weight and having loads of sugar unknowingly and gaslighting yourself to think you're not doing enough. Healthy doesn't always mean low calorie, like peanut butter. Even 1 tablespoon of peanut butter is like 200 calories or something. You can have a small cupcake with that amount. Most outrageous ones are in 2020 when major investigation conducted by Center for Science and Environment found that 77% of all the brands they have tested failed the purity test in honey. They're all adulterated. On top of that, it was pandemic time and people started consuming more and more honey, thinking that it will have antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory effects on them to increase their immunity, when in reality they were consuming pure adulterated sugar. Of the 13 top and smaller brands, only 3 could pass the internationally accepted nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy NMR test. Indian tests were unable to detect this adulteration because Chinese companies have designed sugar syrups, namely golden syrup, invert sugar syrup, and rice syrup, being exported to India as fructose in a way that can easily bypass food standards. Before that, let's decode what is the FSSAI standards for honey. So first point is dietase activity, and the minimum amount is 3 shade units. It is an enzyme that is added by the bees, but if the value is reduced, then either it is overheated, diluted, or it is diluted with sugar syrup. HMF. Limit of HMF is maximum 80 mg per kilogram. Now HMF is a chemical that breaks down sucrose through excess heat or long time in a room temperature. Raw honey right out of the beehive has 0 HMF. So more than 80 usually means it is a substandard honey. Moisture content maximum 20%. Pure raw honey is without any moisture and sealed with wax by the bees in the hive. But if there are more moisture content in the honey, it will start fermenting and you will soon have digestive problems if you consume that. Pollen count should have minimum of 5,000 per gram. This tells scientists which flower the bees visited and proves that honey came from a genuinely natural source. FSSAI require of 5,000 pollens gram per. For monofloral honey, that is predominantly one type of flower, at least 45% of all pollen must trace to that single plant species. Ultra-filtered commercial honey typically has near zero pollen, which means all the enzymes has been destroyed. Basically, it is nothing but pure sugar at that point. Sucrose content can have maximum up to 5%. Indian standard adulteration test is the AOAC 998.12 method, which measures carbon isotope ratios to detect sugars from C4 plants, crops like corn and sugarcane. FSSAI permits a maximum of 7% C4 sugars in honey. For years, this was considered a reliable safeguard. Syrups extracted in C3 plants like rice or beetroot have carbon isotope signatures that are almost indistinguishable from genuine flowered nectar. A jar of honey filled 40 to 50% of with cheap rice sugar will easily pass the C3-C4 isotope test without any issue because the test simply cannot detect the difference. This is why the Center for Science and Environment Investigation uncovered NMR testing, which creates a complete molecular map identifying every compound present in the honey. Then why couldn't we use NMR testing for all the batches? According to FSSAI, it is quite expensive to do that. So they added SMR testing, which is specific for detecting rice syrup. So rice syrup has a specific molecule called 2-AFGP that is never present in natural honey. So FSSAI now mandates this marker must be absent in any honey sold domestically in India. Funnily enough, all the exported honey is required to have the NMR testing. When it comes to honey, a lot of people prefers raw honey due to its health benefits. But raw is not a legal term in FSSAI regulations. So any company can willy-nilly add raw in their product without actually providing you the raw honey at all. So if you see raw honey in any of the products, that does not mean anything because it is not backed by any specific conditions. One thing I want to point out about honey is that even the natural honey is 80% sugar. Despite its benefits, it is no way low in calories. It is obviously better than refined sugar, but people try to reduce weight shouldn't eat honey for no reason. That is what I think. Thanks for watching and watch this video next.